Yeah, rock and roll. What's up, metalheads? Welcome back to another episode of the Wyatt's Metal Podcast. If you haven't figured it out, I'm Wyatt, and I thought this would be just a pretty smooth, chill live stream. Just kind of answer any questions anybody has, and just talk about metal, anything having to do with it. I posted earlier, um, asking people for any questions they had for me to answer. I have some of those that I'll pull up and go over while wait for more people to join in and everything. In the meantime, how are you all doing? I hope you are all doing well. I hope you've had a very heavy metallic past couple days. Hopefully saw some concerts. Um, Hopefully made some festival plans because it's right in the midst of festival season now. It's officially June, which is weird to me. I swear yesterday was March. Time moves so fast. But it is festival season. I'm sure people are getting ready for Download, Hellfest, Grass Bop, fucking everything coming up, which I am quite jealous of. Um, for me going on, we have me and my guitarist for our band Dark Insanity will be on a local radio show tomorrow called Razor Radio, local to Los Angeles area, talking about the band, our shows coming up, and talking about the channel a little bit. So that will be exciting. Uh, I'll post the link somewhere for people to join in. But yeah, tomorrow, uh, me and some of my band will be on Razor Radio, and check it out and listen in. Uh, Aside from that, my band's playing our first show June 30th this month. It's coming down to the wire. And we're excited. We're very stoked for it. It's been a minute since I've been able to be on stage and play a full show. So I definitely feeling that burning energy, and we'll definitely get some hopefully good clips. If we don't get good footage of the live show, just like sounds issues or whatever, we do want to plan to kind of shoot like an amateur little music video on our own just to be able to put something up and showcase like, hey, here's who we are, here's what we sound like. So that will be coming pretty soon. I'd say we're making pretty good progress, and can be sure that I will be blowing it up everywhere as soon as some music or something is ready. But let me answer some of these really quick. Howdy, Slipknot. I'm just gonna call you Slipknot. How's it going, man? Thanks for joining in. Hails from the Pacific Northwest. Awesome. Thank you for tuning in. Razor Radio is what I'll be on. It's actually Razor with a O. Just pointing that out. Don't get confused. But yeah, please tune in. It'll be awesome. I'm very excited for it. Hey, Olivia says, greetings from Poland. Just yesterday, I booked Summer Dying Loud Festival in September. I haven't even heard of that one. What bands are playing that festival? There's so many. Like, you think that you know all of them, and then just more keep coming. It's nonstop metal, as it should be. Give me 1 second. Okay. So I figure I'd go over some of the questions people put for me earlier. And yeah, this will be fun. So, first one comes from Juan Morales says, what are your future plans for your channel? More festival reviews or possible interviews with bands via live stream? Definitely more festival reviews, I think, is kind of going to be the main focus of the channel. It's definitely what I enjoy doing most, and I don't know, feel the most comfortable doing, I'd say. That's not to say I won't talk about other subjects having to do with metal, but I think I'm going to keep the main focus as uh, festival reviews, especially as the channel keeps growing and I have more opportunities to go to more festivals. People seem to really like the ground reports at festivals, which is great for me because it kind of turned my life around. When I was at Milwaukee Metal Fest, I was watching bands thinking, I'm working right now. That's that's pretty awesome. In terms of possible interviews with bands, yes, I absolutely want to do that. I have people in mind that I know in the industry. Um, bands, musicians, people who work in various forms of it, and I definitely wanna get them on for live streams and build up to it. Um, yeah, that's live streams with or interviews with bands is absolutely something that I plan to do, and hopefully the very near future. I have a band in mind coming up soon that I wanna hit up that will probably be down. But, definitely just wanna keep growing the channel and stick with the same thing, stick with what I'm doing, but just up everything a bit more, I'd say. Uh, Dixie Normus, I'm sure that's your real name, says, "Hi." What's up? Um, Vegan Vampire says, "What's up, Wyatt? I love your videos. Thank you. I hope your band does well. Thank you again. Have you heard Black Braid? Black Braid? Good shit. Saw them live at Dark Funeral recently. Totally brutal. Ooh. Um, no, I have not heard them, but if they're on tour with Dark Funeral, that's appealing to me because I love Dark Funeral. So I'll definitely have to check them out." AG Parabellum says, "Wow, I actually made it to one of these. I'm usually sleeping. Hails from Australia." Hey, thank you for tuning in, man. I don't know what time it is for you, but I apologize. You're up at some ungodly hour listening to me be an idiot here. No, thank you for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Um, oh, here's a question that I definitely was planning on getting to. Uh, Exhumed Human Vomit, excellent name, says, "Good evening. If you could organize one concert with 3 bands of your choice for that gig, which band do you choose?" Ooh, difficult. Something I've thought about often. It's hard to say just one because I like so many different genres. Um, I will say I think, before my time as a metalhead, I wanna say in the early 2000s, there was a tour that was, I think, Dio, Iron Maiden, and Motorhead. And that's one that, like, if I could go back in time, I would definitely go back to that one. I did one time see Heaven and Hell, Judas Priest, and Motorhead, and that was incredible. Definitely cherished that I got to see Dio live. So if it was a gig with only 3 bands, I would probably do that. Um, or it'd be cool to go for a really big explosive one with, like, Rammstein, Slipknot, someone else who does a really big ass show I can't think of at the moment. Like Rob Zombie or something. That would be cool to me too. Um, hey, Photo Bear says, "Yo, White, nice to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. Very much appreciated. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and ignoring all the better things you could be doing right now to hang out with me." By the way, I don't remember if I mentioned that. When I went to Milwaukee Metal Fest, I actually had 2 people come up and recognize me from the channel and say they appreciate it and everything, and that was really fucking cool. So thank you. That was awesome. It means a lot to me this channel is doing well and people like my content. Uh, it means a lot to me. Thank you. Oh, I gotta give a shout out to Cult Classic Cage. What is up? Please check out her gaming channel. It is awesome. Big supporter. Uh, Here's a good question from Martin Vasquez. "Hey, White, did you ever go to Ozfest? If so, what year?" I only went to one. Well, technically, I only went to one Ozfest. It was the one in 2007. That was the Free Fest. Um, that was kind of the only Ozfest to happen at the time where I got into metal, so I had the opportunity to go. But that one, it was Ozzy, Lamb of God, Lordy, if anyone remembers them, uh, Behemoth, Nile. That was my first, like, metal festival where there's multiple bands in a fucking parking lot. Uh, and yeah, that was great for me. That definitely started me off on some type of journey. Funny story about that is at that time, I remember when I was a young, stupid metalhead, I really did not like Lamb of God. I'm not sure why, but just they did not connect with me until I went to that Ozfest and I was up on the lawn and they came on. And after like a song or two, I was like, I think I get it now, and actually ended up getting closer and going down to the pit. So, yeah, Ozfest. I only went to the one free one, but it was a great time. Hey, greetings from Amsterdam. Greetings. I went to Amsterdam once. It was very rainy. But it was nice. I would definitely love to go back. Frozen Hails from Florida from Missile Girl. What's up? But speaking of Florida, I might have to go back there in January for 70,000 tons of metal because they look like they've really gotten their shit together lately. Uh, Actually announcing bands early, already rooms selling out months ahead of time. It's crazy to see, but I'm happy for them and I support them. I know I made a video, but hey, I do support that festival. I want them to do well. Hey, Cult Classic Cage. Thank you, fam. Glad to see you killing the game. You too. Us YouTubers got to all stick together and support each other. Vegan Vampire says, "What festivals do you recommend for a first time?" That's a good question. I have thought about that. That would make a good video, actually. Um, I think it depends what type of metalhead you are at first and what you're looking for in your experience. Because if you want to hit the ground running and just see as many bands as possible and be in the war zone of metal, then jumping straight into something like Hellfest would be one way to go. It's probably the most extreme way, but if you want to ease into it and start with like smaller festivals, ones that aren't as exhausting, um, ones that are maybe more affordable nowadays. Uh, there depending on where you live, there's many probably local good ones near you, but Bloodstock in the UK is a great one. I know that it's their fan base is very loyal and very insane in the campground, but it's a good, like, loyal, kinda legendary festival that you'll probably fall in love with if you're one of our first ones. Um, and then what's now gonna be Tolminator, it was the location of Metal Days, but they moved. There's a video on that coming very soon. Um Tolminator is located in Tolmin, Slovenia, and that is the most, like, relaxing nature-esque festival you could go to, I would say, because 'cause you're actually camping in a forest, there's, like, a nice river, there's a town nearby to hang out at, and that one you're gonna feel more on, like, a vacation than going to, like, a blistering, insane, nonstop World War II battlefield of metal. Um, and then also, ones like, I thought Milwaukee Metal Fest was great. Yeah, um, that would be a good first one too because it was all indoors. It wasn't too hard to like get around, but I thought the lineup was sick. It was in a good location too because me and my friends got an Airbnb that was just like a 10-minute Uber ride away from the festival. So there was no like exhausting traveling, hiking through some random land to find the festival in the middle of nowhere. It's just it was pretty simple, and I really liked that. That was an easy one. So, yeah, I'd recommend Milwaukee Metal Fest would be a pretty good first one. But also, it depends where you live. If there's one close to you, that's probably the best one to go to. Um, Let me go back through here really quick. Toma Thomas or Tomas, says, "Hey, Wyatt, 2 questions. What band got you into metal? What is your favorite new recent metal act?" Great questions. I have 2 answers for the bands that got me into metal. There's 2 specific moments I very clearly remember. The first that started to get my interest in, like, darker music or just, the spooky kids at school that, like, hung out behind the dumpsters and smoked cigarettes, what they listened to. Um, I remember the first time I heard Marilyn Manson, I was never really, like, exposed to anything like that. Um At the time, I was very young and just in the listening to whatever everyone was listening to and had no real thoughts about, like, music or anything. And then when a Manson video popped up on some documentary I was watching, that was the first time where I was like, "What the hell is that?" And that got me curious, and I looked him up and started hearing his music, and that started me on the kind of very, very beginning path where, like, just literally discovering Ozzy Osbourne, discovering System of a Down, like those type of bands. This was early 2000s. So I started to get into like the normal easy level there, and then a friend let me borrow an Ozfest DVD as a way to discover more bands. And the one that really, really, really took it off for me on that DVD was Anthrax. And on the DVD they play Caught in a Mosh. That was the first time I ever heard that song. I still feel the same feeling when the very beginning riff comes on, just like dun, 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 dun. And then the bass riff is still one of my favorites ever. That, I think, had such a big impact on me where I felt a connection to music in such a way I'd never felt. And was like, this is me. This is what I'm a part of. So, yeah, I do credit very beginning would be Marilyn Manson, and then the big, like, taking off one is Anthrax, where I started, like, finding metal magazines, looking into chat forums online, where a bunch of elitists would tell me all the bands I like sucked. Copa Katana, hey, says, yo, why in chat? What's up, man? Also, check out his channel. He gives very good and hilarious breakdowns of today's entertainment. If you like stuff like Critical Drinker, which I saw you talk to recently, by the way, Copa, that's cool. Yeah, check out his channel. Doomtech asks, do you like any hardcore? Not a whole lot, but there are exceptions. I'm definitely not big on it, but one of my favorite bands is Sick of It All. I remember they were another one where I can remember the first time I heard them, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" So I love Sick of It All. I just saw Terror at Milwaukee Metal Fest, and I enjoyed them. I'm not really familiar with their music, so I can't name any songs, but I thought they were good. Um, so it's not a genre I'm big into, but pretty much any genre of music, there's some exceptions that I'm gonna like. Even stuff that I like, even country. Very, very, very not big on country at all, but like I could pick 2 or 3 artists that I actually enjoy. So that's kind of how I am with hardcore, but I will say that Sick of It All is one of my favorite bands. I love them. Smash that like button unless you listen to Celine Dion. Yes. That's the best way to put it. This if you don't like and subscribe, you are officially a Celine Dion fan. I'm sorry to tell you, but someone had to say it. Andreas says, "Brother, I'm going to Grass Pop in 1 week. What you recommend?" Nice. Is there bathrooms at Grass Pop? Haven't seen any. I would sure fucking hope so. um, I really hope there's not a festival where there's no bathrooms. Grass Pop definitely has bathrooms. They probably have pretty nice ones since it's a pretty big festival that's been around for a while now. It's hard for me to give specific recommendations on Grass Pop now because I only went once, and that was in 2008. So I'm sure it's changed so much and is way bigger now. I want to go back. I definitely want to go back, but um, hopefully people in the chat can give more recommendations to me or than me. But I recommend just going and having a good time. Go on here. AG Parabellum says, Wyatt, knowing that you are also a punk liker, yep. Are you aware of Rebellion Fest? Oh, yeah. I just found out about it a month ago and it looks utterly insane. Yeah, I'm aware of it. I would definitely go. I've been to plenty of punk shows. Punk festival itself is probably going to be fucking insane. I used to think that metal shows had the craziest crowds, and then I started going to punk shows. So a whole festival that's going to be nuts. There's also punk rock bowling in Las Vegas that is kind of similar to Psycho Las Vegas in a way. It's not outside on that stupid ass tarmac that Sick New World was. It actually is a legitimate festival. So if you're a punk person, definitely look into that too. I have a fake Celine Dion t-shirt with skull and blood. That's definitely a big one in metal. I love that one. There's also like Betty White and in black metal paint and shit. Energy Outlaw asks, "What do you think of Sweden rock? If you've ever heard of it?" I've definitely heard of it, and I absolutely want to go. I just want to go to Sweden, period, because I haven't been yet, unfortunately. But I know Sweden Rock Fest is huge. I would love to go to that one. and check that out because they get really kind of eclectic lineups. I see they get like old school rock and roll artists that aren't on all these other big metal shows, and I like that. That's appealing to me. And they also have the harder hitting stuff, so that's awesome. But I would absolutely go to Sweden Rock Fest. The location looks great too. Photo Bear says Sonic Temple was great. Good mix of metal and hard rock. Nice. Yeah, I remember that just happened. That's another one I haven't been to yet, but definitely would want to check out. I'm glad you had a good time. It says, with bathrooms, I mean, are there showers and stuff? I'm camping. There should be. Pretty much every festival has some type of shower that may charge a little bit, and we'll probably have a line of dirty people, but there should be some type of showers. um, let's see what we got here. Have I been muted this whole fucking time? God damn it. Welcome back. That's what happens because I was answering fucking comment and didn't see that the mute mic was on. Cool. Great. This went super well. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you've all had a great time talking to yourselves. I hope you came up with some really interesting conversations of what I was saying and just making up, kind of miming me at the moment. No, God damn it. No, I was not trolling. I'm just fucking stupid. Ah, cool. This is what happens when you're live and don't know what the fuck you're doing. All right, well, to jump right back into it, I'm going to answer a question that people have asked me many times. If I could set up my own festival, what would I do? Where would I put it? Logistics and everything. I thought a lot about this one. And since travel is the hardest part for any festival, you don't want to exclude anyone from being too far away. I was thinking that we need something where most people can experience it. Joe's right. Yeah, I said metal sucks. I'm going country. So we need a festival that everyone is able to experience. So I think we should do Freight Fest. Freight Fest would be a metal festival on a freight train going throughout Europe. I think it's perfect. People wouldn't have to travel. We could just pick them up wherever they were. You could set stages in different carts. People can camp. Just because a normal like passenger train, there's gonna be too many seats and people in the way. That's shitty. We need the open space for mosh pits. Freight Fest is the festival I would do. I also thought we have festivals on cruise ships now. We need a festival on an aircraft carrier. That would be cool as shit. Talk about an open air stage on that. Hell yeah. um Exactly. Olivia comments, there are rave trains, so why not metal ones? Exactly. Wait, someone says there was one? Oh, okay. Yeah. For Slaughter on the Water. Yeah, I think that was in the Bay Area. There was a docked aircraft carrier where bands like Exodus played. I remember that. That was fucking cool. We need one that moves though. I recently went to Slam Dunk Fest in UK, and while I had a great time there, I'm assuming, there was a ton of problems that plagued the festival and ruined it for a lot of people. That sucks. That's what happened to me at Sick New World, really. I still had a fun time, but it sucks when things go wrong. It's kinda hard to not have a good time in a situation like that unless it's straight up Firefest. But, yeah, it's annoying, unfortunately. You must sign a waiver for Fright Fest. Probably, yeah. But it's gonna be pretty bumpy. Imagine a wall of death on a freight train. It's like actually moving, shaking around. And if people fall off, hey, they get to travel. It's a perk. Everyone has their own destinations. Uh, Same question I asked since your mic was muted. Do you know the band Primus? That was a question I was answering. Um, yeah, I know of them, but they were never really my thing. I'm more into aggressive, crazy shit, I guess. I'm not super technical, but I definitely know of them for sure. Uh, Tiago asks Slipknot, ST, or Iowa. I would say probably Iowa. I think that's the one that had the most songs on it that I actually liked all the way through. Um, Usernames are for for a hit. I wanted to go to the Milwaukee Metal Fest, but couldn't swing the cost. Did you catch Hath? And if so, how was the show? That sucks you couldn't make it, man. No, I didn't catch them. I don't. They're probably clashed with somebody, but I did not catch them. I hope they were good. Most of the bands at the festival were good. Hector Cruz says, "I know you just made a video on it, but tell us about the festival in Milwaukee. How did you get the photographer spot?" Yes, so, um, the festival was great overall. I really enjoyed the stages were easy to get to. Place was big and fun, but not, like, exhaustingly where you have to run around. Um, but fuck, what was I saying? So, like, a month or so before the festival, I decided to email him just to do it, to see just going like, "Hey, I'm a YouTuber. Um, here's what I do. I cover festivals. Would you be interested in exchanging a festival ticket for me doing a video?" Didn't hear anything from them for quite a long time to where I wrote it off. And then in that period, I made the Sick New World video and that blew up. And then Metal Sucks wrote an article on that video, which blew it up even more. And I'm wondering if that had anything to persuade him or not. But like, I think that it was 2 days before Milwaukee Metal Fest actually happened. Uh, I got the email from them confirming, like, "Hey, yeah, we'll grant you the ticket and a photo pass." I didn't even really ask for the photo pass. So I had in one day had to plan a flight to Milwaukee and get all my shit and just get out there, which made it exciting. But yeah, the way I got the photographer spot was I just emailed and asked and gave it a shot, and they were really cool and awesome, and gonna hit up a lot more festivals and do the same thing. I did hit up Blue Ridge Rock Fest. A lot of people have been asking me to go to that one. So hopefully we could do a similar type of thing, but we will see. Um Mota S, what do you think about softer or emotional metal bands like Alcest or Some? Not really my thing. Um, I mean, it obviously depends on what type of mood you're in. For softer stuff, I like more symphonic. I'm a big Nightwish fan actually, so they're like kind of softer stuff. Um, that's me personally. I'm a big classical fan, so when I want slower, kind of more beautiful music, that's what I tend to go for more. Um, for black metal, I want Satan and blood. But there's so many different types of ones too, like Wardruna, I would kinda count as that, and they're incredible. Uh, Josh Barron, your mic was muted when you answered my question on Opeth. Yeah, so I was never really that big on Opeth. I love Michael's range. I remember back in the day, they were huge and people were saying how Michael was a god and, like, worshiping this band, and then they kinda, like, tapered off from those lofty heights in a way, I would say. From what I understand, they're more progressive sounding now, which is not super my thing, but, um but I do love the work that Michael did with Bloodbath. That's my type of stuff. Where we go? Oh, hey, Susan Rowan sent a super sticker for $10. Thank you. That's awesome. Where was wanted to answer the question here. Yeah, so on, Rock, the name sounds familiar. I can't, like, remember exactly, but, from what you said, if it's a festival in the forest of Finland, that is extremely appealing to me. I absolutely wanna go to that. So, that will skyrocket to the top of my must go to list. Because 'Cause I've never been to Finland, but I've always thought it was a gorgeous country and been interested in it, and to go to the festival sounds perfect. Um, hang on, sorry, I'm going through here. Photo Bear asks, "Have you checked out Epicus? Such a great live band." Yeah, I've seen Epica quite a few times. They are an incredible band. Um, I saw them on 70,000 Tons of Metal. I've seen them at Hellfest. My favorite song they do is their cover of Imperial March. Because that was fucking epic. Hey, Tiago says, "Love the concept of your videos. Discovered your channel just a few weeks ago. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm really glad that people find entertainment in what I've been working on." um, Here's a good one we got to answer. Andreas asks, "Top 5 best metal concerts you have ever witnessed." It's so many, but ones that immediately stick out to me. One is very recent. I don't know where on the top 5 I would put it, but it's definitely on the top 5. Rammstein's latest tour. Holy fucking shit. That was the biggest solo headline show I've ever seen of a band. Like, I've been to festivals that were bigger in scale, but in terms of just one band playing their own show, that was insane. It was so loud with the explosions that I could feel my bones shaking. Um, Besides that, the first time I saw Motorhead was Hellfest 2008, and I was right on the rail right in front of Lemmy. I remember them playing Ace of Spades, and they had, like, dancers on stage, and one of them came over to me and, like, shaked her tits in my face, and as a young teenager, being right in front of Lemmy, having that happening, that was made my life right there. Uh, Also for me, in 2011, my first Vakken, I saw Blind Guardian there, and at that time, I was highly, highly obsessed with Blind Guardian, and especially going to Vakken was this, like, mecca dream of mine. So to be there seeing what at the time was my favorite band, especially in their country, definitely blew me away. I'm trying to think of others besides that, there's so goddamn many. Uh Like, I really could not count the number of concerts I've been to if I sat down and tried. It's absolutely impossible. Um, I would like to add Seeing Heaven and Hell, Dio with Black Sabbath, because that was such a rare opportunity, I feel. But besides that, there's so many. Uh, Luke Hermans asks, "Hey Wyatt, first of all, great work on the channel. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Question, did you stitch your battle jacket yourself?" Yeah, so, not at first. When I was younger and first got it, I did have my grandmother and then for a little bit, my girlfriend at the time doing it. But for the last several years, yeah, I ended up doing well, now it's pretty much all me because I've had to go back and fix it as it's worn in time. But for the last couple of years, yeah, I've do it all myself. Never would have thought I would enjoy sewing. It's actually quite relaxing to put on an album and go over your patches. I recommend it. It's pretty relaxing and therapeutic for metalheads. Um, that's a good question. R. Stein says, "Random questions. What is your favorite festival name? Just the name." I mean, I feel Hellfest is pretty fitting. Uh, Metal Camp was good. That's what Metal Days used to be before. That's a very fitting one. In terms of names, Brutal Assault, I feel is very, very fitting too for a festival, which is another one I really want to check out. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to catch up here since my shit was muted and I had no idea because I'm an idiot. Yeah. Bello asks, "Does anyone knows underground death metal concerts?" I'm assuming if you're asking in your area or just asking what they're like, but they're sweaty and smelly and awesome. That's what Milwaukee Metal Fest was like. It felt more like a fucking like an underground show. I actually didn't know going into it that it wasn't an outdoor thing. So that was a nice change, I thought. Um, oh, here's a good question. Do you do any sort of collecting or hi-fi audio stuff? In terms of hi-fi audio stuff, Definitely not. I think most people would be surprised by what crap equipment I'm working on here. Um, which is great. Hey, I've learned my best to do DIY stuff. But funny enough, I'm not a really technical minded person. When I started learning to play an instrument at all and get into music, I was teaching myself how to play bass. And I got pretty good in terms of like simple stuff, and I was just kind of rocking out like Motorhead or Misfit songs. But when it got to the point where I needed to start really learning about equipment, really learning about everything, the technical aspects of it, I just, as you can tell from my 10 minutes of being muted, my brain is dumb, and I was just like, "This doesn't work for me." Which is what I love about being, well, I always wanted to be a vocalist more anyway, that's always where I felt my heart was. So once I started pursuing that, I can understand, like, I guess, the structure and the technique of vocals more. I just feel like I'm more of a kind of a feeling person rather than analytical one in a lot of ways. Um So no, that's why I'm still working on a bunch of broken equipment is because I don't do audio tech stuff. But in terms of sort of collecting, I do have a bunch of like metal stuff. I showed off in one of my other streams. I still have right here a bunch of my guitar picks I have. Um it has been less in recent times just because I don't feel the need to fight up to the front of the stage anymore. But no, I'm kind of a pretty minimalist in a lot of ways. I could pack up and leave in a second. Whenever I go to metal festivals, I just bring a backpack. Even if I'm going to Europe for 2 weeks, I can live off of that and be totally fine. Um, Photo Bear asked, "Have you been to Resurrection Fest in Spain? Trying to plan a Europe Fest, and I love Spain. I've not, but I really want to. I would love to go to Spain. I think that festival looks great. They have solid lineups. That one is high on my list. Hopefully next year I'll be able to get out to a lot more festivals. Hopefully next year I'll just buy a van and live in Europe for like 8 months in it, just going to festivals and making videos. That's the goal. But I would recommend going to Resurrection Fest. I've only heard good things, so I would check that out. Uh, I just meant like good speakers or headphones for music listening. Not really. I mean, these headphones I have now are the best quality ones I have, and if there's an album I really wanna listen to and really dive into, then I will sit down and in this studio and just focus on it. I don't do that as much as I should. I remember, um, Henry Rollins said something like he does, like, protein listening or something, where he sits down and just plays an album all the way through and makes sure it's, like, one he hasn't heard before, and I think I wanna start adopting that strategy, especially with this community here. You guys have so many bands to recommend to me that I do wanna actively check out. So that's something that I really need to do. Yeah. So are you going to Europe this year? I am not planning on it at the moment. That could change, like, spur of the moment, depending on what happens in the next few months, with the channel and everything, but at the moment, it's not planned. Next year will probably be much more likely, seeing how things are going. But no, for now, I really wanna do Blue Ridge Rock Festival, which I think is in Virginia. And that there's I wanna do the Mexico festivals too, the Mexico Metal Fest for sure, and then Hell in Heaven. Those 2 are at the end of the year, and Mexico's a lot easier for me, and I've never been to a Mexican festival, so I think that's my region for this year, and hopefully next year I'll be able to go out to a lot more European stuff, 'cause I miss it. Josh Barron asks, "Have you heard of the band Burning Point? They're a power metal band." I've not heard of that band, but I do like some power metal, so I'll have to check them out. Uh, Next question, do you listen to folk metal? And if you do, then which band is your favorite? I definitely do. Not as much as I used to. I got really into it when I first discovered it. I remember being in probably like middle school or early high school and seeing Corpicani's video for Wooden Pints, and that just blew me and my friend's mind. We were like, "What the hell is this?" But that launched us onto big folk metal dive of Fintroll, Equilibrium, uh, Ensiferum, all those bands. I think at the moment my favorite is still Fintroll. I've seen them live a bunch of times. They're so much fun, and they always sound great. They fucking kill it. Corpicani I haven't really listened to in a long time, but they've always been fun. Oh, Arcana is one that I need to shout out because I love that band. They're fucking sick. I've anytime I've seen them or Brutal, I love Masha a lot. Uh, so I think Fintroll and Arcana are probably the top 2 for me, but it's a great genre. It's a lot of fun. Have you heard about 1914? I've heard of the band. I can't really name what they sound like. I've heard that they were good though and should check them out. Aren't they Ukrainian? I'm not sure. I might be wrong. Uh, hey Arnie, what's up, man? Thanks for joining in here. Says, dude, have you thought about doing an album review on your channel? I think your communication style would be perfect for it. I have thought about it. I'm not totally sure if I want to, just because, at least for the album reviews I've seen on like Banger TV and everything, they do get really kind of analytical with the structure and talking deep about the songs. And I just, I come at it more of like, I would describe it in the way like I describe my videos, like I describe Midnight's music as Venom and Motorhead having prison sex in a dirty motel while on a bloodstained mattress. That's how I would describe albums. Like, I did actually listen. I might have to make a video on it just because it's so weird. I did listen to Avenged Sevenfold's newest album, and that reminded me of that scene in the Dewey Cox story where he has all the different instruments around everywhere with like goats singing and shit. That's how I would describe that album. But it is something to think about. Um, Specific albums that really stand out to me, I'm sure I probably will, but that's something to think about for sure. William Buckley, what's up, man? Check out his band Anubis. They are doing big things right now. They're great. Highly recommend. Says all great bands, but if you like Fintroll, then I have to recommend. I'm gonna try to pronounce this. Verticapo? Something. Very similar, newer band, but sings in Finnish. I like that. I would definitely check that out. I know very, very little words in Finnish. Maybe mainly the important ones like perkele and Harstavitu. From what I know, that's all you need to know in that language. Vegan Vampire, have you heard the new Immortal album? If so, what do you think of it? Not a whole review. Yes, I did actually listen to that one. It was fucking great. I really love Immortal. It gave me that kind of Sons of Northern Darkness vibe too, which was my favorite album by them. Um, I recommend the new Immortal. It's sick. Olivia says, there's also a Polish band, Arcana, that performs black metal. I did not know that. That's interesting. Yes, I'll answer this since I brought it up. Fufu Bear says, new Avenged Sevenfold disc is weird as fuck. It is. For those that don't know, it's not what you're expecting in any way. Um, it's got parts that are like metalcore and then hard rock and then like Frank Sinatra and then like soul and computer hard drives overloading. It was weird. But there were moments that I actually did enjoy of it, I have to say. I am not an Avenged Sevenfold fan, but when you kinda take literally every form of music there possibly is and throw it on an album, there's gotta be parts that stand out. Um, Anna says, "Thoughts on Full Force Festival in Germany? I've been to lots of electronic festivals, but this is my first metal one and the first ever for my boyfriend. I'm blessed because he's a fellow metalhead. Congratulations." I haven't been to Full Force, so I don't know too much about it, but I know that it's at least a smaller scale than something like Vakken or Grasspop or something. Maybe it's a good one to start out with, I'm not totally sure. But if it's got a good lineup, then you're definitely gonna have a good time. Matt says, "Any interest in attending Obscene Extreme?" Absolutely, I wanna play Obscene Extreme, that would be fucking great. The videos I've seen from that are nuts, that definitely deserves a video on its own. Um, yeah, absolutely. If you don't know about Obscene Extreme, I've just seen videos of people in, like, crazy costumes, stage diving with, like, pool toys and shit, and just got a brutal as fuck lineup. Says, "Perkele is most important word, just have to roll your R's." I'm usually pretty good at rolling my R's. Must have missed that. I've listened to Sabaton so much, it becomes normal to roll your R's. Um, have you heard any music from Make a Change, Kill Yourself? They're DSBM, and I thought the one song I heard was amazing. I have not heard those. Uh, that type of black metal is not my thing personally. I don't listen to metal to be sad. So, not knocking it if it's your thing. There's just that's not really my type of style, so I'm not big on that many bands of it. Like, yeah, for metal for me, I usually want more pounding, crazy mosh pit stuff. That's just the type of person I am. Hypnotic is in here. Hey, what is up, man? Throwing up the horns. Commenting, this channel is going to blow it. Make sure you like the stream. Thank you guys. Thank you, Hypnotic. I appreciate it. Hypnotic is an awesome YouTuber. He has a great channel. I join him sometimes for live streams where we just talk a lot of shit on things. Um, I recommend checking him out. His channel's blowing up too. And we are here in this fight of the YouTube algorithm together. Any thoughts on the new Cattle Decapitation record? So I have not sat down and listened to it all the way through. The songs I have heard on it are really fucking good. Cattle Decap is a band where when they came out, I wasn't into their earlier stuff, so I didn't get into them. But for the last couple of years, whenever I've seen one of their videos or something, it's been really fucking good. So I 100% need to sit down and listen to the album all the way through because I'm depriving myself of not doing it. But what I've heard is fucking solid. Love the vids, man. Thank you. Any thoughts on gatekeeping in metal? The guitarist from Suicide Silence came out recently saying it was needed, which seems to be the unpopular opinion. Very interesting question here. Now we're gonna get political. Now, I do like that question. I saw that article or interview or whatever it was. Um, I actually think that metal is far better at diversity than a lot of people give it credit for. Because you hear so much about like gatekeeping by like old white men in metal and blah blah blah. But it's really inspiring me to see bands like Bloodywood, bands who from their own countries who incorporate their own sound and culture into the music. And that is welcome on such a wide level. Like I became a globally minded person because of metal, because of finding out bands from other countries, songs in different languages, festivals I wanted to go to in different countries. And that led to a really wider uh, perspective for me, I guess. So I think metal deserves a lot more credit for how diverse it actually is, and a lot of people want to say right now. But in terms of gatekeeping, my opinion on gatekeeping, and this goes for films, comics, entertainment, gaming, everything. To me, gatekeeping really just means that if you're going to come into a space, understand what makes that space what it is. And by that, I just mean like understand the music of metal, understand the passion for it, have a genuine interest in wanting to be a part of it because of what it is. I don't think it's really right to go to a different genre that you don't like and make it want to change for you. Like, I'm not gonna go to an emo show and be like, "These bands suck, you all need to start playing blast beats and do all this for me." But, that's what I think it really comes down to. I mean, if there are legitimate, like, people standing at the gates with iron spears being like, "No, only the people we allowed are coming in, period," and that's on, like, a hierarchy level, then yeah, I don't agree with that at all. 1000% support people doing things independently, supporting, DIY shit. That's how metal and punk came around in the first place. But I the way I view gatekeeping is that people just asking you to understand what it is that you're coming into, and if it's kinda like the military, like, if you were to sign up for the military and you're like, "I'm not gonna work out, I don't wanna use a weapon," and expect it to accommodate you, obviously, you're not gonna get any respect or treated the same there. But if you come into it to show that you're there for a purpose and it means something to you and you put in the effort to understand it and genuinely be a part of it, I think you'll find most things are far more accepting than a lot of people think they are, especially metal. Metal has gone so far with so many female-fronted bands, so many bands from different countries. I think it deserves a lot more credit than it's being given personally. But in terms of yeah, for me, my only thing about gatekeeping is just understand what you're getting into, and as long as you understand it and are passionate about it, then you're good to go. William Buckley says, Finn McKenty says gatekeeping is cool. Finn McKenty also thinks Baby Metal is the greatest band to ever exist. Man, I'll tell you right now, I can't do I know he admits it's just for the YouTube algorithm, but his fucking thumbnails where he's like, I'm never gonna do that shit. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna do the clickbaity thumbnails of that. I'm not gonna do like, oh my god, a burger, just it's not what I want to do. I mean, I like some of his opinions. Not all of them, but some of them. Narori says, if we would gatekeep metal, we wouldn't have metal in the first place. That I understand that point of it too. Because if it was just like, no, metal is only Black Sabbath and that's it, then yeah, we wouldn't have all these other genres. We wouldn't have metal being as huge as it is. So that's what I think. Yeah, if anyone's like, no, metal has to only be black metal, period, then yeah, that's fucking stupid. um, William Buckley, the name three songs thing is cringe. It is, yeah. Don't do that. That's old. I will say though, my stance on people wearing band shirts that aren't in the metal, there we go. It came up right now. What do you think of the band t-shirt conversation? I don't understand why you would wear a t-shirt of a band if you don't know who they are. I'm not saying you're not allowed to, but I'm not gonna wear a sports jersey of a team if I don't know who the fuck they are. So that's the thing I don't understand about it is like when you see the Kardashians or whatever wearing a Slayer shirt and they clearly don't know what it is. I just don't understand why in the first place. You know, like I wouldn't go up and berate them and be like, name every album, but I'm just like, that's like me walking around with a fucking Post Malone shirt or something and being like, I can't name any of his songs. That's just my opinion on it. Also, my opinion is that um, if you're going to see a band live, don't wear their t-shirt to their own show. Everyone knows that. I've gotten in debates about that before. Everyone knows you like the band. It's just a thing. It's an unspoken rule everybody knows about. Someone say something about Hot Topic and their band t-shirt wearing people who have no idea the music. Yeah, I mean I just don't get it. If you think the design is cool, then fine, but it doesn't seem hard to realize that there's a band name there. Thoughts on Austrian black and death metal band Belphegor? Personally, my favorite black metal band, and I don't know how to pronounce that. Might be my favorite black metal album ever written. Cool. I've definitely have seen Belphegor plenty of times. They are always solid and entertaining. They're always like, "This next song is about blood." But Belphegor is sick. I have not heard this album, but I should add it to the list after the cattle decapitation one to sit down and listen to. But Belphegor is fun. I like that band for sure. I think I had another question I wanted to pull up here real quick. I don't have too much longer. I apologize for the 10 minutes of dead air like an idiot, but go ahead and make memes and whatever you want out of it. If I'm going to give my honest opinion on the internet, I have to be able to take the fun and the jokes of it too. Oh, someone asked, "Are you going to 70,000 tons of metal in 2024?" I hope so. I would like to. I want to reach out to them and be like, "Hey, I can do a video. I would love to report on how you guys did it well." But I don't. We'll see. I hope so. A lot of my friends are going. I actually like the bands that are playing, so I hope I can. Uh, I don't care what shirts people wear for me. If I like the band, then I will get their shirt, and that's that. Yeah, I mean, that's if you like the band, I don't give a go for it. That's totally cool. I just get confused if someone buys, like, an Exhumed shirt who doesn't listen to metal and has no idea what it is. I'm like, "Well, then why would you buy it in the first place?" But, like, if someone's not a metalhead, but they like Sabaton or something and wear the shirt, that's great. Go for it. Um Josh says, "If I see someone with a metal t-shirt, I am going to go up to them and say, 'Name 3 songs now,' and if they don't look metal." That's why you yeah, just have the list on your phone staring at it. It would be like, Wheel of Fortune or something. Alright, I do need to answer this. Olivia says, "We have to have a Discord to have a place to share those memes, just a kindly reminder." Yep, you are right. I absolutely am gonna do that. I am gonna set it up what day is it even? This week. I have downtime and less things coming up. The, yeah, I absolutely think a Discord for this channel would be great. It's going to happen very, very, very soon. Um, William Buckley said, "My name 3 songs, track 1, track 3, track 7." Yeah, that's a great one. I love, titled track. That's the best one to answer with. Um, okay, I do have to get going here. Unfortunately, I have other things to do. I have a video to work on. I want to get out to you guys soon. I have a Discord to set up. Um, thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with me and keeping this fun conversation and laughing at my stupidity and my technical issues. I appreciate you all for watching. It's really awesome. I love this little community we have of talking about festivals. Um, check out my band Dark Insanity. We're on Instagram. We have shows coming up soon. Check out Razor Radio. We're going to be on there tomorrow talking about the band and the channel. And check out my other channel, Film Rebel, which I have not been active on for a little bit, but where I discuss entertainment and film reviews. Because some of you might not know, I have a background in the entertainment industry as well. So the other half of my interest goes over there. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you very soon. And stay metal.